In honor of Pride Month, the Queer Eye cast shared their coming out stories in an exclusive video for Bustle. And just like the guys themselves, Antoni Porowski, Tan France, Karamo Brown, Berk, and Jonathan Van Ness, the stories are all very different. I don't think that anybody should judge anybody's coming out story, Antoni says, revealing that this is only the second time he's told his coming out story publicly. Antoni's right, no one should judge these stories, which are extremely personal and can be difficult to share. So when people are brave enough to share theirs, we should just listen. These anecdotes can show others in the LGBTQ community, who maybe haven't felt comfortable telling their own stories yet, that they're not alone, even if it sometimes feels that way. For Tan, Queer Eye's fashion expert, he worried that he would be disowned by his religious Middle Eastern family for being gay. It's not a lifestyle that is common, says Tan, who's currently writing a memoir that will delve into his coming out story, in which, at the age of 34, he told his Muslim family he had been married to his partner for over a decade. Meanwhile, Queer Eye's resident interior designer, Bobby, was outed to his devout Christian family, who wasn't initially accepting of his sexuality, leading him to pick his bags up and walk right back out the door. My coming out story is still happening today, Karamo, Queer Eye's culture expert, explains. In the same video, Antoni admits when he first got his job on Queer Eye he was embarrassed to say the title of the show, whispering queer, when people would ask the word queer. Antoni says, I used to say with such shame. And now I say it with more pride. What the guy's proof is that coming out isn't one day or one story, it's a process, and it's one that freed them from being anyone else besides themselves. I am who I am, and I always had to be who I was, Jonathan says of coming out when he was 8 or 9 years old. That's right, you do you. And that's the message the Queer Eye guys wanted to send to anyone who's still deciding whether or not to come out to the friends and family. It's not always easy, but for them it was an important step in letting the world know who they are. And as Bobby says, we aren't any different than anybody else. Clearly, the world loves Antoni, Tan, Karamo, Bobby, and Jonathan just the way they are and wants to see more of them. Queer Eye Season 2 returns on June 15th, hopefully with an episode dedicated to Tom and Abby's wedding. For this new season, the guys are returning to Georgia to connect with communities from a wide array of backgrounds and beliefs often contrary to their own, touching on everything from self-love and faith, to immigration and how to make the perfect homemade poke bowls and more, according to a Netflix statement. So, yes, expect more cooking from Antoni, who is releasing a cookbook next year with his signature Queer Eye recipes that will most definitely feature avocado. But the new season of Queer Eye will also break from tradition, according to Entertainment Weekly, adding 8 new episodes, including ones that feature the show's first female and first trans male subjects. Can you believe they're going to do that to your port air ducts? Definitely buy some extra tissues, because clearly you're going to need EM, as if that should be any surprise to those who bawled the way through the first season. Not to mention the video above, which will have you reaching for the Kleenex to wipe away those tears. Happy ones, of course.